For us at Nidec, I must say, the Indian market represents a truly significant market for growth.
As a consumer nation, it is a country that is poised for truly tremendous growth.
Seeing 11 lanes on one side, I was truly amazed. This is a real car society. The volume is just incredible.
This is the very first factory to be built with the shared commitment of the entire group to grow the automotive business, a category experiencing major growth in India, all as one Nidec. We will absolutely make this a success.
The groundbreaking ceremony is now underway, and it is being celebrated on a truly grand scale.
The expectation for companies to increasingly target this country for investment, to establish manufacturing right here, I believe is growing larger and larger.
This program is brought to you by Nidec.
Hello everyone, I'm Nojima from Pivot, and today, as you can see, I'm reporting to you from India. We're hearing that many Japanese companies are now keenly focusing their attention on the business opportunities available here. And for this report, I've traveled all the way from Japan for an exclusive opportunity to follow the president of comprehensive motor manufacturer Nidec, Mr. Kishida, right here on the ground. I'm here to witness firsthand exactly what the front lines of business in India are really like.
India, the rapidly growing giant of Asia. For fiscal year 2024, India's GDP grew by 6.5%. It's even forecast to overtake Japan's GDP in 2025, which would make it the world's fourth largest economy. Foreign companies are entering the market one after another as businesses from all around the world now see it as a land of new opportunities. On this occasion, Pivot was granted special access to accompany Nidec President Mitsuya Kishida during his important visit to India.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
I was wondering, how many times have you been to India, Mr. President?
Let's see. I've actually been coming to India for about 30 years now, so I've been here dozens of times. However, since I've been in this role at Nidec, I first came just last December, which makes this my second visit.
Of course, Nidec has bases located all over the world, so I imagine you travel quite a bit. Among all those places, what does India represent for the company?
We see India as a region of major growth, and it's within that context that we have decided to build a new factory that will integrate our various automotive-related group companies. And that is why I've come here today for the groundbreaking ceremony of plant number 3 at our long-standing facility here in Nimrana.
And why India specifically?
Well, first of all, there's the fact that India is projected to see tremendous growth as a consumer market. And on top of that, we also believe that while China has traditionally played the role of an export hub, the number of countries receiving exports from India is set to expand significantly in the future.
So it's truly becoming that central strategic hub for your operations.
That is correct. You know, what's significant this time is that all of our automotive-related group companies have really come together. So I do believe this is the first factory we've built that truly embodies the spirit of growing this business together, fully united as one Nidec. We will absolutely make this a success. That is our firm commitment.
Nidec is a comprehensive motor manufacturer with a global presence. Currently, the company is focusing its manufacturing and sales efforts on India, where it operates 9 factories. On this particular trip, President Kishida visited Nimrana in northern India. It is in this region, an established industrial park for Japanese companies, that Nidec embarked on the construction of its 3rd factory this past May.
The groundbreaking ceremony is now taking place. As you can see, President Kishida is here along with many of their clients, and it's being celebrated on a very grand scale indeed.
As a center of gravity of growth, India has been in focus for Nidec. I'm happy to share our future growth investment plans in India.
Held on this day was the important groundbreaking ceremony for the 3rd plant. Attending were not only Nidec's own employees, but also client companies, Indian government officials, and even the Japanese ambassador to India, drawing what I would call an unusual amount of attention for a single company ceremony.
As I understand it, the first phase of the factory began back in 2016. In really just the last decade, this has naturally become their primary mother plant, and now they are already undertaking the third phase of construction. Now they've established multiple bases in western and southern India, spanning a wide variety of fields, including EVs, of course, as well as the broader automotive sector, home appliances, and electrical and electronic components. The sheer speed at which they are expanding their production across so many different fronts is something you rarely see from other companies. I get a very strong sense of their profound commitment and speed.
In your view, what kind of presence does Nidec have in the Indian market today?
They are not simply bringing in goods from around the world to assemble in India and then export. Instead, they are producing components right here. Those parts are then supplied to larger enterprises in India, some of which are Japanese, of course, but others are not, where the final assembly takes place. Strengthening these intermediate, secondary, and tertiary stages of the supply chain is precisely the challenge India is facing right now, which makes this initiative extremely important. I'm aware that back in 2014, Nidec's founder, Mr. Nagamori, met with Prime Minister Modi and made a very significant investment commitment at that time. You know, the way business is conducted in India is fundamentally top-down and exceptionally fast-paced. So this particular style of having the top leader come in person, consult, and make decisions right there on the spot, I believe this is a remarkably good fit for the Indian context. Of course, there are many other Japanese companies that have found success here. However, it is companies like Nidec which make decisive top-down decisions and whose presidents and chairmen visit frequently that are truly the ones who succeed. I would say that Nidec is a perfect example of this. Working here at the embassy in Delhi, we have so many representatives from companies who want to invest and expand their presence here. And this includes everyone from large corporations to small and medium-sized enterprises. They visit us very frequently, so I am convinced that this level of enthusiasm is only going to grow stronger from now on.
The construction of this third plant is an event that has truly captured the nation's attention here in India, and it is said to hold a major business opportunity, one that is truly unique to this country. The Nimrana plant has historically produced motors for home appliances like air conditioners and for electric scooters. The third plant will ramp up production of automotive motors. And the strategy is to meet India's growing local demand driven by its population with local production for local consumption. This groundbreaking ceremony could serve as a catalyst for new business expansion with local companies. President Kishida himself was there to forge that very path.
Following this, we have a lunch planned with our clients where we intend to have a more concrete and, shall we say, a more in-depth discussion about our business together.
Oh, I see. So they are already here at the event?
Yes, they are right here with us now.
And just to clarify, are these companies considered to be very significant players within the Indian market?
Yes, that's absolutely right. These are clients who have demonstrated an incredibly strong, long-term commitment to the Indian market as a company. And as a result, they have secured a very dominant market share. They are also clients who have announced investment plans to contribute significantly to the growth of the four-wheeler market in India. So naturally, for our part, we want to make a major contribution to their efforts.
Nidec is intensely focused on expanding its business in India. We had the opportunity to speak with President Kishida about his strategy.
ありがとうございます。社長が使わせていただきます。We're here with you just moments after your very important meeting. Could you tell us how it went?
It went extremely well. We were able to have a very deep and productive discussion. You see, in India, the most critical point is really about how to build a complete supply chain domestically, all the way from materials to individual components. And just as we successfully built a broad and diverse supply chain in China, we agreed that we must now do the same here in India. To make that happen, we discussed the need to cooperate closely and to pool our respective technologies. And for my part, even though this was actually our first time meeting face to face, I truly believe I was able to convey the key points I wanted to make and to communicate the firm resolve that Nidec has as a group, successful in tackling this initiative.
It was truly a meeting of top executives. Since we couldn't go inside, every time the door opened or closed, we were trying our best to gauge the atmosphere within the room. It seemed to shift between a calm, relaxed mood and a more formal, serious one, which was quite exciting for us to watch. Were there any specific decisions made during the meeting?
Yes, a decision was made. We concluded that in order for us to do more production in-house, we need to establish a system where our technical teams are based right here to facilitate direct engineer-to-engineer conversations.
So until now, the process was more about collaborating with the head office in Japan.
That's right. Our engineering and development teams were always in Japan. The process involved sending an inquiry, waiting for their analysis, and getting an answer back. But, and this was true for our auto business in China as well, the real problems happen right there, on site. So having your engineers present at the very place the problem is occurring to create an immediate solution, I was reminded that doing the same thing in India is absolutely essential.
So, was that an idea that was just suddenly brought up during that meeting in just a matter of minutes?
The idea, or the ball, as you say, had actually been tossed around a few times before, though this was the first time I was the one to catch it directly. In fact, during our talk, we even recalled having a similar conversation about a year ago. So I'm very pleased that today we were able to turn that into a firm decision and agree to finally move forward with it.
So in that case, you caught the ball.
Caught the ball?
And made an instant on-the-spot decision?
Yes, it was an instant decision.
Just like the slogan right behind you, do it now.
That's the one.
That's it. Wow. You know, I was just speaking with the ambassador about this very Nidec spirit. He mentioned that he feels this spirit and India's top-down business model are actually an incredibly good match. So what is the Indian market's role in Nidec's overall strategy?
Of course, the Indian market is, for us at Nidec, a market of significant growth that we have genuinely held high expectations for over many, many years. And while it's certainly a major growth market, we also foresee a significant future where India can serve as a central export base, allowing us to supply our products to the entire global market.
I am aware that in India, the trend of electrification for vehicles, both for automobiles and especially for two-wheelers, is growing very rapidly. But from a broader industrial perspective, where do you foresee demand really accelerating in the coming years?
From an industrial standpoint, the area I have personally been focused on in India for many years is telecommunications. I truly believe that the transformation in communications here is what has guided India's significant progress over the last decade. Now 5G is fully deployed, on par with other developed nations. Because of this robust communications infrastructure, I expect that a wide variety of other industries will now evolve in step with it. And as that evolution unfolds, I believe it will in turn open the door to the next major advancements in other fields, such as IT, data centers, and of course, autonomous driving and the broader mobility sector. This has reaffirmed my belief that we must focus on these new innovations and develop businesses where Nidec can progressively take a leading role.
So India's growing role as a hub is precisely where Nidec can provide so much value, right?
That is correct. As you know, Nidec has already been producing a wide range of products in India for quite some time, including our many types of motors. Looking ahead, our mission is to further expand that product variation, and by adding our design and engineering capabilities into the mix, we aim to spark new innovations together with our partners in Indian industry.
I assume you plan to continue expanding your operations in India in terms of factories, design and development centers. With that in mind, do you have any specific quantitative targets?
Rather than simply increasing the quantity of our facilities, our strategy is already set on establishing major hubs for each of our 5 defined business pillars. So, The key point now, I believe, is to expand the depth and breadth of our operations within those pillars.
Your commitment to personally visiting India and seeing things firsthand is a powerful demonstration of the Nidec spirit. With that in mind, having observed the situation and spoken with your employees, what was your main takeaway regarding their passion and their drive?
Well, this is actually my second time visiting this specific site. I was here at the end of last year, and now here I am again in May. And I have to say, even in just the 6 months that have passed, I can already see several significant points of evolution. And listening to feedback from our external customers like this, it always gives me a fresh sense of what more we need to be doing. So, just as Nidec's management has consistently done in the past, I intend to continue listening very carefully to our customers' voices, to outside perspectives, and to external opinions so that we can make Nidec an even better company.
You mentioned the 5 pillars as a keyword earlier. Could you please elaborate on what this strategy entails?
Certainly. Our activities in India really began with this Nimrana plant, which we started back in the mid-2010s. This was our central point. This site began with products for home appliances and air conditioners, and later expanded into the automotive sector. Today's event was for the opening of our 3rd automotive plant. Looking ahead, we plan to develop several specialized sites with unique features. For instance, in the city of Hubli, which I'll be visiting again next month. Our Motion and Energy business group is set to consolidate its entire range of Indian operations. We're in the process of opening a massive new campus there to house everything under one roof. Then regarding our appliance business, we have already begun work on a brand new factory in another state, a location strategically chosen for its proximity to our customers. We are currently targeting a 2026 opening for that new facility. And on top of that, we have recently started our air conditioner business operations at Sri City in South India. This facility essentially serves as a satellite factory for our main plant right here in Nimrana. So while our factories will be centered around those key hubs, we've also established a Nidec R&D software center in Bengaluru, a city where we've had a presence for a much longer time. We're developing this R&D hub there to create a system that allows us to deliver software globally on a 24-hour cycle for technology development. So by dividing the roles among our various locations, ensuring we have neither a surplus nor a shortage of resources, and without any duplication of effort. We intend to run an operation in India that leverages the very best of what our group can offer. In that sense, I would say that India is truly a priority area for all 5 of our pillars. In our talks with the government, we have requested, for example, infrastructure development to help our 5 key hubs operate more smoothly. In addition, we have discussed things like grants and other incentives designed to attract further investment, which has been an item on our agenda. I can say that we've had very positive interactions and smooth discussions with officials from the respective state and local governments, as well as with the central government.
This is Akie Iriyama, Professor of Business Administration. He says he senses that Nidec is staking the company's future on its India expansion.
There's no doubt that India is set to become the center of the future global economy. First and foremost, of course, is its population, currently at 1.4 billion and projected to grow to perhaps nearly 2 billion. Even China, has only 1.3 or 1.4 billion people, and its population is now set to decline. And so as a domestic market, China will actually be shrinking. In stark contrast, India has the world's largest population, and with a significant number of young people, its economy is growing and its talent pool is actually exceptionally strong. This is particularly true for people in science and technology. They no longer feel the need to go to the US or Europe because their own country is growing. And so they are staying right here. So when you have a large population, a growing economy, and this amazing talent, well, not investing in India is simply not an option. For Japanese companies, it's an incredibly attractive country going forward. But at the same time, my understanding is that it's also an extremely difficult country to invest in. And why is that? Well, India has its own unique culture. And beyond that, the power of the bureaucracy and the government remains very strong even today. In that kind of environment, the number one key to success, from my perspective, is a top-down approach. If you send someone from Japan who is just a coordinator with very little real authority, they'll get caught up in all of that. Projects will get bogged down or fail completely. Costs will balloon. And a project that should take 6 months can easily take 4 years. That happens all the time. Therefore, what's most important in these situations is not that, but for the top leader with the most authority in Nidec's case, that's President Kishida, to go there in person and make decisions decisively, right from the top. Once a decision is made, people in India understand, and things move very quickly. But so many Japanese companies are indecisive, aren't they? They say things like, well, I'll have to take this back to the head office. If you do that, business in India just will not succeed. It's quite remarkable how Mr. Kishida, as the head of Nidec, is right there on the front lines making quick, on-the-spot decisions. That's the most effective approach in India. Many Japanese companies struggle precisely because they don't do it.
India is going to play a very important role in every segment.
And for Nidec's all-in bet on its India business, the employees working on the ground also say they feel an unprecedented level of passion and energy.
Efficient manufacturing, mobility, innovation.
We have seen a steady and upward curve of the growth, which is leading to the expansion of this third plant. This expansion shows that our valued customers are trusting in our product and our customer-first approach.
This is a proud moment for me as well as for all of the Nidec members, as Nidec has opened the wings of expansion now and ready for the growth in Indian market. We always, every day, get the challenges. This company promotes the challenges, and this really motivates us to grab more and more business with profits.
For Nidec, I believe this will be a strategic factory for our push into India, and the key point is vertical integration. We have a concept we call localization. We try to source suppliers in India, but the reality is it's very difficult to find products satisfying our strict QCD standards. The only real solution is to do it ourselves. When dealing with critical automotive parts, we absolutely must be able to respond immediately if a problem occurs. So in the future, we also intend to strengthen development capabilities here at the Nimrana plant.
Day 3 of President Kishida's India visit. Today, he is in Gurugram, a city on the outskirts of Delhi.
Well, thank you for coming to our office.
Thank you very much for having us.
In this city, a hub for global corporations, President Kishida was meeting with the head of Panasonic's India division. As the economy continues to grow, the demand for air conditioners in India is surging, and Panasonic is one of the leading suppliers for that market. Nidec is a key business partner, supplying the motors for those very air conditioners. As such, Panasonic has high hopes for Nidec's planned production increase at its Indian factories.
We are aiming at a near 1 million units of air conditioners next year.
To expand our, appliances business, we decided to jump into the air conditioner for the outside. I think we are now in the process of discussing with the colleagues, and so please select those.
I completely agree to you that if we have to continue to build good products which deliver high value to the consumers, then we should definitely collaborate more closely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are deep-rooted. We are originally coming in from Japan. So I think the first reason is that both the companies stand for strong Japanese values. These Japanese values essentially are centered and deep-rooted into durable products. For multinational companies, it's very obvious to imagine and believe that they consider India as an opportunity. So I think one of my advice to Nidec will be that not only look at India as an opportunity, but also build capabilities, including enabling exports.
It's clear that India itself is now entering a phase of major reform in its entire manufacturing ecosystem, which includes its supply chain and its broader supplier base. In that context, we must not only participate, but also take a leading role in that change. I was strongly reminded again today just how crucial it is for us to be the ones leading this transformation. As far as I'm concerned, that's the matter that requires our full attention right now. No matter who the customer is, I felt once more that their primary concern is to complete the entire production cycle within this country, understanding everything from the raw materials to the components and manufacturing it all right here. And it doesn't matter if the final application is a refrigerator, an air conditioner, a two-wheeler, or a car. I realized again today that our most critical focus must be to procure the materials and manufacture each of those essential components right here within this country.
In response to the numerous requests coming from its client companies in India, Nidec is strengthening collaboration across the entire company to ensure it can react swiftly to these demands.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Held on this day was the India Growth Conference, or IGC. Over 100 people involved in the India business from across Nidec gathered to discuss the current challenges they face and the countermeasures they need to take. One issue which had been pointed out to President Kishida by a client was that Nidec's local development structure in India is still not sufficient. This very challenge was also shared with everyone in the room.
They recommend us to prepare some small team of the R&D to meet the requirement and to meet the customer demand, to solve the problem as quickly as possible at the Gemba. So that was also very important suggestion for all of us. That is something we have to prepare as a need.
We come together to discuss the common challenges we face in order to succeed in India. You know, to keep pushing forward, to keep searching for the next answer, continuing that process relentlessly, I think, is, in a sense, the Nidec pattern of problem solving. Not a single person here just reported on an issue and left it at that. Instead, they work to solve the problem, confirm the solution together, and then we move forward. I could really feel that powerful sense of progress. I truly don't believe there's anything that we can't do just because it's here. In a country that possesses this level of resources, this larger population, and this much intellectual capital, I am absolutely certain that the innovations we need to achieve our goals can be born here. I believe the answers are here, and we will move forward with that conviction.
As we work to firmly establish our supply chain base within India, we've been very open about the various obstacles we face, such as complex import-export issues and tariffs on imported parts. We have made specific requests for improvements, and they have genuinely promised to consider them in a positive light. I believe the expectations are indeed very high for a comprehensive manufacturer like us, a company which has an impact across such a wide range of applications. To come here, to invest, and to conduct manufacturing on a significant scale. I have to say, I truly believe that India is undertaking a simultaneous transformation of its infrastructure, its industry, and even its culture, all in parallel. You know, if you look at the history of many other countries that became developed nations, it was typically a more linear, step-by-step process. First you build the infrastructure, then you move to the next stage, and so on. But here in India, it feels as if all of those stages are happening concurrently, all at once. Of course, they need to develop their power grid and their overall power generation capacity, and yet in some areas, they are actually moving at a much faster pace than other countries have historically. So you have this incredible simultaneous development of infrastructure and the rapid advancement of industry, alongside the attraction of foreign investment. All of this is happening in parallel. It is without a doubt a truly vibrant and dynamic country. And so, Within that dynamic environment, it is my sincere hope to work closely with the local people to firmly pass on our unique Nidec culture and to build a truly new future for manufacturing together.
President Kishida was in India for a 4-day visit. He toured local factories and sales offices, where he repeatedly communicated the company's future strategy for India to the local employees.
Let's make our future together. That's the core message I wanted to deliver to you. And as you know,
I feel that this has been a tremendously productive visit. From government officials to our partners who are driving this business with us, and of course our customers as well, I was able to get a very strong sense that they are all staking their futures on growth in India with incredible resolve. So, that realization has made me feel that our preparations for the future here are truly meaningful and worthwhile. Plus, next month we have a grand opening for another site, so if anything, our involvement will only increase. I am certain that this relationship will not fade in any way.
We will have well over 1,000 people, employees, at just this factory alone. Our goal from a motion and energy perspective is to have localized engineering, production support, and after-sales service, as well as locating very close to our supply base. I'm very interested. I wouldn't have been here 12 times over the last 3 years if it wasn't for the interest that I have for our people. You know, we have a fantastic team here in India, and we want to continue to invest in India and grow it to its full potential.
What Japanese manufacturers, not just Nidec, are aiming for in India is, in essence, what they were doing in China about 20 or 30 years ago. Back in those days, China wanted to build its own major industries, and to do that they would raise import barriers just a little. And that, of course, encouraged companies to manufacture locally rather than simply exporting to China. In a similar way, India also wants companies to manufacture locally as much as possible, as it creates jobs and helps to develop local talent. So in that sense, having manufacturing companies build factories is incredibly important. And China aimed for this too. The next thing a country inevitably wants is development capability. The development, the R&D department, that's the real brains of the operation. And having that integrated with manufacturing is what's most desirable for the country. And yes, of course, it also strengthens the industry itself. Now, of course, Japanese companies did this to some extent in China. But more often than not, the pattern was that the R&D department was in Japan, while the manufacturing was done in China. In India's case, however, placing R&D within the country is, I would argue, a very, very critical strategic move. And there are two main reasons for this. The first reason is a sense of speed. You know, competition is intensifying, especially for a company like Nidec that's involved in EVs, digital technologies, data centers. These are fields where even faster decision-making is required. And if your development team is back at the head office in Japan, the coordination and communication will inevitably take time. During that delay, you run the risk of losing out in the race for speed. The products you develop are ultimately made on the factory floor. So co-locating your R&D team right there dramatically increases your speed. That's point number one. The second point is talent. The deeper you go into development, the more you obviously need brilliant engineers. And in Nidec's case, engineers are exceptionally crucial. When you need engineers who understand disciplines like electronic engineering, materials science, and so on, well, India has that top-tier talent right now. In recent years, for example, you have the Indian Institutes of Technology, or IITs. A large number of these institutions exist in India, and it's often said that admission is even more competitive than at America's MIT. So that level of talent actually exists right here within the country. This means you can hire from this top tier of talent. The human resource infrastructure is already in place. India is clearly on its way to becoming the world's next manufacturing hub. Therefore, It's essential for Japan and India to build a very strong relationship. What's more, it's a great match because we're entering an era where manufacturing and digital merge called IoT, the Internet of Things. With AI now in the picture, the future is the fusion of digital and manufacturing. And when you look at India, they already have major IT hubs like Bengaluru and a vast pool of IT talent. Everyone knows how to code. Meanwhile, Japan is strong in manufacturing, so we have a lot of manufacturing talent, don't we? However, Japan itself is facing a declining population and labor shortages. So, for a company like this to go to India, and I mean this in a very positive way, treat India as a second factory for Japan. And from there, join hands with Indian partners to take on the world.
In the Indian market, what do you believe will be the key word for Nidec to further unlock its, well, let's say its full potential going forward?
I would say it's the power of development by India and also the ability to build up our components right here, together with everyone in the supply chain, together with all our partners. That, I truly believe, will be the key word from now on.
So, if achieving your ideal is like climbing a mountain, what station are you at right now?
My feeling is that this, well, let's just say our ascent to the summit has only just begun. You see, we've been involved in manufacturing here in India for a very long time. But the next stage we're heading into is going to involve much more, especially development, requiring a much deeper integration of India's vast industrial ecosystem into our own operations. So this, shall we say, this particular mountain climb of ours, I truly feel that we're still just getting started.
We will certainly be cheering you on for the journey ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.